What is up, everyone? Welcome to Cheers Avenue. My name is Darren, and today we have a very interesting topic to talk about. If you haven't seen the title yet, we're talking about the worlds of DC, and I'll tell you what that means in just a moment. But this topic was sparked by a very interesting article that I read today from Mark Hughes. He works at Forbes. He's a writer over there, and he gave his opinion of what the DC is doing and what all these announcements, these random announcements, mean for the worlds of DC. And just to let you know, if you guys, I'm sure you guys have seen the article or seen some of its announcements floating on the internet, being reblogged. Just know that this is basically an editorial piece. He's giving his opinion. He's not a representative from Warner Brothers or DC. He doesn't work for any of the properties. So he is just saying things based off of, you know, the information that was given on the internet, and he's trying to just interpret things. Basically what we're doing, but he's just typing it out online, right? So he really gave some really cool, you know, insights. He's basically saying things that we already know. So he's saying that the Joker solo movie is being shelved, the one that Jared Leto wants. He's saying that the Joker and Harley Quinn movie is being shelved. He's saying Harley Quinn won't feature in Suicide Squad 2, and we know that because, you know, James Gunn, he's going to have a whole entirely new cast and new team. So he's doing a soft reboot. So there's no way he's gonna include Harley Quinn in there, which makes sense. And he's saying, you know, Superman is being shelved to put, you know, Supergirl more in the spotlight, and that explains, you know, the whole thing is because, you know, Henry Cavill is also, you know, having issues with his contract as well. And you know, the list goes down the line. You know, I'm gonna put the article in the description below, and that's basically what he says about some of the titles, and he's trying to just make sense of it all, and that's basically what we're doing. And the topic that he talked about was the worlds of DC, and he basically confirmed my theory of that title. So if you guys don't know, the worlds of DC is the term that DC Warner Brothers is giving the DC films. So the internet calls it the DCEU, but they're calling it the worlds of DC. That's the official title, and this title came out in Comic-Con, so this is nothing new. And so when this first title came out, I was like, the worlds of DC? What the right? And it didn't make any sense. But now that we're hearing these random announcements come out, I'm starting to realize what the worlds, quote-unquote worlds, of DC means, and it's kind of explaining itself now, right? It's basically building its own world with all these random characters or all these random titles. So it's building little pockets of cinematic worlds within each DC character, and it's also building a parameter of lesser known characters into the DC world to, you know, make it fully fledged universe. So that's why we're getting, you know, the Supergirl announcement, so it could explore Superman's world. And we're getting, you know, we're getting the Birds of Prey because it's exploring Harley Quinn and Batman's world. We're getting the, you know, Trench movie because it's exploring Aquaman's world, right? And then we got the, you know, the parameter of lesser known characters to, you know, to fill in the gaps. So that's why we got, you know, Booster Gold, Lobo, Blue Beetle announcement, and it's just to fill in the gaps, or to fill in the little holes in the universe to make it fully fledged, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, people are saying like, you know, we didn't ask for this, you know, we don't want this. But let me tell you right now, most fans, we don't know that we like something until it's in front of us. So for example, when the Guardians of the Galaxy came out, you know, the announcement, we're like, who the hell is Guardians of the Galaxy? That's a very deep cut title. You know, I was, you know, for someone that reads comic books, I didn't even know who the hell Guardians of the Galaxy was. I know I somewhat heard, like, I've seen Rocket Raccoon, I've seen Drax, but I never really heard of Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, I'm gonna just be honest with you. And when, you know, a lot of people felt that way. And when we finally saw them, we're like, oh shit, this is actually really cool. I want this. I want to see more of this. And that goes with Shazam. I know Shazam is one of my favorite characters, but a lot of people are like, you know, this is random. This is a random character to, you know, make a movie about. What about, you know, Batman? What about the Flash? What about Martian Manhunter? What about Cyborg? We don't want Shazam yet, right? But now we see Shazam, and we like what we see, and we want to see more of it. You know, you guys are asking for a second trailer, you know? and we don't know what we like until it's in front of us. So when we see this Supergirl movie, we could have that same effect could happen again. And just know that, you know, this is, you know, this boldness that DC is doing is nothing new. DC has a precedent of being bold and making these crazy decisions. You know, DC has been killing it. You know, DC was killing it way before Marvel was doing it. You know, they gave us the Christopher Reeve Superman, and that just, you know, fired up all these other amazing films that to come about. You know, and they also, you know, gave us, you know, they took a risk on Zack Snyder. You know, Zack Snyder had a different perspective on Batman, and you know, he also gave us the Man of Steel, and you know, that was a different interpretation of Superman as well, and that was very bold of them to do that. And you know, they know Superman, what he represents, and Zack Snyder brought a different take, right? And that was a risk they were willing to take. And so now they're correcting their wrongs and going a different path, giving us a different formula that Walter Hamada himself, the guy that's in charge of all these DC films now, what he has learned in his horror experience with the horror genre. And he's basically bringing the Annabelle formula. You know, first came Conjuring, then it spinned off to Annabelle, and the Annabelle became its own thing, its own franchise. And so he's taking that formula and just spinning it on DC entirely. And I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's a different take. You know, this gives them more of an opportunity to have directors be creative, take on projects that are really random, that they're very inspired by, and not follow a path or a structure, you know, like how Marvel's doing it, or like, you know, we have to find someone that is willing to direct a Captain Marvel movie or is willing to direct a Black Panther movie, because that's our aim. That's not their goal right now. Their goal, DC's goal, is to just build this world from all angles as much as possible. And this is what this article talks about. And I think it's a really cool article. You know, power to Mark Hughes for bringing this up, because this is what a lot of people on the internet has been talking about, what the worlds of DC means. And you know, just imagine this, right? Just imagine you have a party. You're inviting your 5 closest, let's say, cousins, right? Because your cousins are basically like your first friends if you guys are close to your family. So you have your 5 closest cousins come to your party, and you tell each of them to bring a friend, right? So each of them have a +1. So your friends represent the first 5, you know, major DC properties. So you got Man of Steel, you got Batman vs Superman, or Batman and Harley Quinn, you got Aquaman, you got Shazam, you got someone else, right? You got someone else, I can't name right now, but, and then so this person, the Superman guy, invites Supergirl, his friend. Batman or Harley Quinn, they invite Birds of Prey. Aquaman, they invite their +1, which will be the Trench, so on and so forth, right? And they all come to your party, and then you invite your friends. So you invite your friends, and you tell each of your friend to bring in a +1 as well, and it's an entire party. But from your cousin's perspective, from your cousin's perspective that's close to you, that doesn't know your friends, they see your friends as random people, right? And that's our perspective as a fan. We see these actual individuals at random, but it fits the party. So everyone's having a good time, and that's basically what DC is doing. They're trying to make a party and just inviting everyone. And so, you know, with the Green Lantern Corps movie that's planned, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they do a spin-off with Hal Jordan, because it's going to be a team up with Hal Jordan and John Stewart. So they might do a spin-off with, you know, Hal Jordan, or maybe someone from the Sinestro Corps, or they might do a Kyle Rayner spin-off. You know, it could be endless. And just imagine exploring that universe. That Green Lantern universe is so, you know, cosmic. It's so out there, and I would love to explore that. And that's, as a fan, I would love to explore that. You know, I would love, you know, to explore Batman's world. I want that Nightwing movie, right? I want that Nightwing movie. I want that Batgirl movie. I want to explore each of those little pocket universes to create this full-fledged DC world that we know and love. And there's you know, and there's one thing that we fans need to do, and what this article basically keeps reiterating, is to be patient. To be very patient. and this article also explains that the 2021 date for the Batman it's not that crazy as it sounds, because we waited longer to see Batman to come back to the screen, from the 90s Batman all the way to the Christopher Nolan Batman. That was a long gap. I don't even know how many years that was, but that was a long gap. I never want to see that big of a hiatus for Batman ever. So hearing this announcement that the Batman is coming out 2021, it's not that far off, right? I don't care, it's scary to think about how old I'll be at that point, but I am very excited about how soon that movie is gonna come out. So on top of this topic, I also want to talk about this Jason Momoa Instagram video that he placed today. He basically did a story of him visiting the Warner Brothers studio, and he went into a meeting and he came out of it just excited. He was like, you guys have no idea what's coming. And it's something that a lot of those fans are like kind of scratching their heads like, what are you talking about, what are you talking about? But you guys need to watch this video and tell me what you guys think he is teasing us. I think it's obviously I think it's the Justice League 2 movie. I think that's what they're doing. I don't think he would be this excited for Aquaman sequel, because that's already like known, but his reaction is so enthused. I think he is excited for a Justice League 2 movie. I think that's what it is. So let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about what Jason Momoa is teasing us? What announcement do you think is coming? And what do you guys think about this new formula that DC is doing? What do you guys think about these random announcements? Do you guys hate it? Do you guys love it? Are you guys willing to be patient for these movies? Let me know in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.